It's the official launch of the TV series Good Cop, Bad Cop, the funniest stuff you will ever see. And I have Luke Cook with me, the star of this fantastic show. You are an annoying character, but
Wow.
in the funniest of ways.
You know, not everyone finds Henry annoying, but his sister certainly does. And that's the whole premise of the show, is that as it's a small town and a brother and a sister are detectives, and we just get on each other's nerves all the time. She's happy-go-lucky. I'm a by-the-book, facts over feelings type. And yeah, I guess I am annoying.
So it is the story of two, good cop, bad cops, brother and sister. How on earth can siblings work together in this fashion? I mean,
Exactly. I think even at the best of times, working with your sibling is like a precarious idea. And in this particular case, it's not a good idea. But we end up having a great, chemistry in how we figure out cases, but we struggle to like each other. It's like they say, you don't have to like them, but you got to love them. And that's siblings.
Look, I have this exact experience. And before you sat down today, I honestly wanted to find a whoopee cushion for you to just sit on. And I was like,
Well, I might fart naturally anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it.
yeah, you're the king of that. We do a full...
I am the king of farts. Thank you, Andy.
There's nothing wrong with that. Look, being in the health and wellness industry too, when you talk about how good your stools are,
Sure.
then, you can decipher whether you're having a good or a healthy body or a bad body.
I agree. I think we should be talking about stools more.
Yeah, exactly. It should be normal.
I agree. Absolutely.
All right, well, I didn't think we'd agree so much, but
Yeah.
I can definitely resonate with the brother-sister banter and all of that that's going on. I had a little brother. We had a jar of, chilies in the middle of the table, and the competition was you eat one chili, I eat one, and whoever taps out is the loser. And I think we got up to seven chilies, and he had fire coming out of his ears, wouldn't give up. What was the most craziest thing you did, as that you brought in for this character? In real life, you brought it in.
Yeah. So much of it is so much of the on-screen stuff is just getting along with the person that you work with enough to have some chemistry. So off camera, me and Leighton love each other, and on camera we bicker all the time.
Yeah.
And that's great writing. A good writer can make that kind of sing, but it's also very helpful that you like each other too off camera. Rarely do you see successful movies and shows where people hate each other actually off screen.
Yeah.
It's usually toxic workplaces make toxic work, you know what I mean?
Right.
We're lucky enough to get along really well, and lucky because we spend so much time with each other every day, 12 hours a day.
Oh, I think people forget that going into a role, you have to kind of do the work before you do the work.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's the characterization and development and all that sort of stuff. But this bit is the bit that we don't get to see or talk about. It's so that you step in and there you are. You got
Totally.
it. She's amazing. She's really gifted.
I know, she really is gifted, and in a way that I didn't even understand. I never watched Gossip Girl. She's so offended by that. I'm joking, she doesn't care, but I've never watched Gossip Girl. When I saw her act in person, I'm like, she's great. And then when I saw her on camera, when I watched the show, I was like, oh, there's so much more happening than you can possibly imagine, because what we see as humans is so different to what the camera sees.
Yeah.
And she just has these little things that the camera is picking up that I wasn't picking up at the time. And that's how you know a real pro. She's a real pro.
Yeah. Well, you both are. This isn't your first rodeo. You are well known for your role in Sabrina. That was kind of a bad guy too with the Lucifer. Do you think you're getting typecast, perhaps?
I'm not a bad guy in this. I'm just hard to get along with. He's socially awkward. So he's not a bad guy at all. His heart is in the right place. He's just, he's not charming. Whereas Lucifer was a bad guy who is charming. But that was a great role. I loved playing Lucifer. I love playing this guy more than I love playing Lucifer. I mean, playing Lucifer is so fun because you get to be just pure evil all the time.
I think this guy in Good Cop, Bad Cop brings a little bit more of the idiot in you, and that's you love to be, basically.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely love being an idiot. He's also the great thing about Henry as an idiot is that he thinks he's always right, and he thinks he's always correct going into any scenario. He is correct, and no one else is, and that's a fun idiot to play.
I know, and this is the bit that I love about this TV series. I feel like I could just get hooked on that character. It was definitely made or written for you, if you like. Do you think when they were, did they have you in mind? Like,
No, they didn't at all. I was given an audition. I was given the audition in December of 2023, and I was like, no, this isn't for me. This is for somebody else.
Really?
I was like, other people will do this really well.
oh, really?
And then,
Like who from the office?
I just was like, yeah, I just thought that there are so many actors out there who could do this.
Yeah.
And it's not for
feel
me.
like it's a bit office vibes.
Yeah, it's a bit off.
Yeah.
Like this character is a little bit Dwight Schrute, I suppose, if he was to fit anywhere. But then they came back and I said no to the audition. They came back and they go, they really want you to audition. They're really looking for someone like you, they think. And I'm like, really? And so I did it. And then they were like, that's the guy, that's him. And I'm like, oh crap. Sometimes you need to be aware as an actor, you don't know what you can do.
Yeah.
Some like people are like, you can do this. And I'm like, no, I can't. And then I do it. And I'm like, oh, maybe I can. And maybe this is what they're looking for. But it took them so long. I think between December to February, they had no one. They couldn't find the right person. And then when I finally did send a tape in, they just said, that's the guy.
And then you were like, oh crap, because now I have to film on the Gold Coast. And let's address the elephant in the room, 2 Aussies. We're in LA, this PressPassLA. So many Aussies love to be here. I mean, this is the best melting pot of all the most talented people, if I just say so myself. Going back to the Gold Coast, what'd that feel like?
The best. I want to go back to the Gold Coast now. Let's get out of here. What are we doing in LA?
The best beaches in the world.
Best beaches. I mean, just a really fun young town that's like on the way up. And so much industry work is moving there now. I think because the crews are incredible, but there's a laid back attitude and actors who are, big and fancy actors really want to go there because it's like a joy to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I've been in LA for like 18 years. I've done very little work in Australia. So to finally book a show that is shooting in Australia, like is like weird. But, I moved to LA to work in America, and then now I'm moving to Australia to do American work. It's like, what?
I know, it's a mind bleep.
Yeah, it really is. But it's, the best. I want to go back there. I'd love to move to Queensland.
I grew up on the Goldie.
Did you?
Yeah.
Actually, I can see that.
Yeah, I know. But you can't take the Gold Coast out of the girl.
No, that's right. It's still there.
I know. The thing is, I never went to the beach when I lived there. I miss it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, the whole time I was thinking, on the way to this interview, it's like, I really need to talk like this because people who are watching are going to think, like, is this an Aussie?
Is this an Australian thing? Why are these what are these weird accents we're listening to?
And I just want to make you feel more famous, this interview.
I feel very famous just being here. The lights, there's 3 cameras. I feel at home.
We even have an audience.
It's true. There are people watching.
All right. So, think about it. This is kind of like your dream job. Like you have made it. Look, Mum, I've made it. Seriously.
Mum doesn't think I've made it. She treats me the same. She texts me and asks me if I've done a poo today.
Oh, that's good. What did you tell her?
Well, she will always text me. She hasn't texted me today because they're still asleep. But she will. She does that. She was a nurse, so she knows how to check in on people.
She gets.
And when she checks in, she asks you, have you done a poo today?
Oh, that's good.
And she's really great. But she doesn't think I'm famous. Like even when I was doing came out in Sabrina or the follow account that goes up. She doesn't care. She doesn't know. She doesn't get it.
She doesn't know that.
I did a play. I go, okay. I did a play with Al Pacino. And when we first read it, I go, Mom, I'm doing a play with Al Pacino. On the phone, I called her. I said that. And she goes, that's nice, darling. What have you had for lunch today? And it's like, just doesn't really give a shit.
Can I just pick up that name you just dropped?
I know. Well, but that's how I'm trying to show you that like my mom just did not give 2 hoots.
She still doesn't understand.
Doesn't get it.
I mean, do you go into detail though when you tell her about the poo?
Yeah. No.
Because she cares.
I will to somebody like, I will. Like I just say to her, I just say, yep, did it. Thanks, Mum.
Oh, okay.
Just because she wants that answer. If there's something strange going on, I'll let her know too.
Yeah. I feel like the fans would like to know more detail than your mum actually cares to know.
Like I'm basically by 10 a.m. every day, I've done one.
Right.
Yeah.
So you often let your fans know about it. Like you've got an active Instagram account. What your phone is going off today. And what are they hoping to see? Like just regular stuff.
I don't know.
Back in the regular.
It's nice. It's nice because I guess people follow your journey, and they've been on with me, and a lot of them have been with me for like years. The people who follow me, and then now they're seeing some actual success that they get to turn on the TV and see me, which is nice. And also, what I like about that is I'm not going to let them down. Like it's a very funny character, and so they like if you know, if it was a big drama, they'd be like, oh, why am I watching Luke be serious? But this is great. And it really like works for what they've seen on Instagram. It's going to be on TV now. So that's cool.
Exactly. I mean, so many people were watching you on Instagram. You were so active. You never stopped.
I know.
And, you know, you just wanted to fill that gap, if you like, between like them having regular episodes to watch and then all of a sudden it stopped. And
Yeah.
here you are now. And maybe you can even take a holiday while that just watch the.
I will never take a holiday. I would like to take a holiday from Instagram sometime.
That's what I'm like.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but at the same time, I think it's in my muscles, like it's to make content.
To create.
I can't stop. Ever since 2020, like that pandemic where we had nothing to do, I just started creating content almost every day. And now if I don't create in every 2 days, my body's like, what's happening? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And I've got to think of an idea to come up with. And
Well, if you don't create, you consume, right?
that's true. I'm happy to create, but sometimes it would be nice to take a break. I'll try and figure that out in the next few weeks.
I don't know if your mother-in-law would be happy about that.
She likes the content. She wants to be in the content is the issue. She sees me filming something. She's like, so do you need me in this one? I'm like, no. She just wants to be in it. She wants to be famous so bad.
But Tracy is famous.
She is famous in it. It's crazy. I walk down the street. She walks down the street and people yell at her like from, you know, oh my gosh, that's Tracy from Tracy, yes. And she's like, she cannot believe that at the age of 60, she's become somewhat famous.
Yeah. And
And she's deserving of it too. Like I saw something in her. I was like, she's a star.
Yeah.
And she is.
Yeah, she doesn't even try.
No, that's the perfection of it.
I know.
Yeah.
So, you know, your wife is probably your biggest fan. She's been so supportive of you. There were times where you felt like you could have tapped out. We all do. But tell me about Cara.
Yeah, Cara is the best. She's an amazing stylist. She dresses people for red carpets. But, you know, in a relationship with somebody in my industry, there are times when we haven't had any success and there's no money coming in, and you sometimes look to your wife to go like, or your partner to go, what do you think? Like, what should I do here? And at a time when she could have easily told me to quit and get a real job, like a normal job, she didn't. She was like, you know, just keep at it. You're going in the right direction. Like, you've had a million hints from the universe that this is going to happen for you. You just need to wait it out. And to just have that encouragement from somebody who is alongside you and struggling alongside you too. Like, you know, there was a few years where we couldn't afford Christmas presents for each other. And the second Christmas that happens, you go, what have we done this year? And why have we ended up in the same place? You know, why is there still no money? For just somebody to believe in you is just the best thing. And she just has always done that and never said a negative word that would make me think, oh, I'm in the wrong spot. I'm doing the wrong thing. I should stop. She's just supported me. So it's like, you have to be your biggest fan, but that isn't always possible. To have somebody next to you also being a fan and also saying, keep going, that's worth their weight in gold. Like, thank God for
I'm a big fan of Cara. Like,
She's hot,
she's a
isn't she?
powerhouse of a mother as well.
beautiful mom.
You know, even like I watched her birthing journey. I mean, if we had to just talk about that, she's just a queen. And I think when people birth naturally in the way that Cara did, and I did too, 14 hours. But yeah, of nothing, no drugs and everything. So I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
But you're falling in love with her strength. She's falling in love with your support. That process.
I don't know if she was falling in love with my support. Like, I think she was just like, get me out of here. Like, if you look at the photos, it's like me behind her. And like, she's not thinking of anything but get me the hell out of this situation. You know, so she's a HVAC, which is like, what is it? Anyway, it's like a home birth after cesarean.
Oh, yes.
Is it HVAC? Or
That's
HVAC?
amazing.
Anyway, so
term, but
the
that's
first one was, cesarean, which she really wanted to go natural, but
Didn't happen.
the baby was breech, so whatever, they did the cesarean.
Yeah.
And then she really wanted to have a home birth. You know, her doula is her best friend, and they really wanted to do the normal thing, or the most natural thing.
Yeah.
No judgment out there to the people who
No.
do it any other way, but she really wanted to see what it was like.
Yeah.
And we figured it out. It's not easy. It's not an easy process.
No, look, I mean, just for any mother out there, your birth is your unique,
It's yours.
journey.
Yeah.
You do. But yeah, it was so good to like just have Cara in this picture, because to become a big star, I mean, you're going to have things thrown at you now again. Like, let's face it.
Let's see. I don't know. I'm open for anything. I'm open to like nothing changing or everything changing. It's entirely possible that, when you drive down Sunset, you see so many posters for so many different shows, and you never hear of that show other than when you see the poster. When the poster comes down, you never heard about anyone watching it or enjoying it or telling, so it's these Hollywood's fickle. It'll come and it'll go, or it'll make you a star, or who knows?
Well, that actually manifests the ultimate. Like, as a wellness coach, I'm always like, tell me your ideal, like, let's wave a magic wand, let's set it right up and put it out there now. What's the ultimate thing that could happen out of this?
I guess, the ultimate thing that could happen is that we get a season 2 and that people see the show and are like, okay, I want Luke in this and that. I don't want him in this. And like, I have a list of directors who, it'd be great to have, Kenneth Branagh or James Gunn or Jon Favreau, call and go, we really need a guy like Luke. And then that would be amazing to go and work with people like that. But at the same time, I always think, I love the manifesting thing. And I think it is great to think about the most ideal circumstance, but it's also good to just like, I woke up in a house today with a wife who loved me and there are 2 kids who are healthy. And you just go, that's pretty damn good too.
I know.
And so like, there's plenty to be thankful for as is. So to like wish for anything more, it's absolutely natural, but it's also like, I do have enough.
You're missing the point of the abundance that is right now.
Right.
This is like, it's amazing today. Today's an amazing day.
Amazing day. Yesterday was also amazing. And so thanks God for that. But yeah, I mean, I'm totally excited. Like the universe is full of possibilities, both good and bad. We always think about the bad, and we very rarely think about, if you are given to thinking about how bad things could be, you have to, in fairness, also think about how good things could possibly be. And I just think that makes so much sense.
Well, that's the balance. That's real science, which is quantum physics, right?
I don't know anything about quantum.
Quantum physics is the equal and opposite of both.
I see.
Everything's in perfect order always. So when something's bad, look for the good. When it's good, look for the bad. Like, otherwise you're in this state of elation or depression, but somewhere in between is that vibration of balance and love, like, because there always is both.
Right.
So that's where you can feel totally at balance, I guess. That's why it's so interesting that good cop, bad cop is actually a great representation of life itself. Because there is good and bad in both. And let's just go more into, like, I guess, what it feels like to be the good guy, but then also the bad guy, like it
Sure.
really is the both, the complexity of that character.
Yes. Yesterday, like every news outlet in the country asked us the same 4 questions.
Well-
And one of them was like, who's the good cop, who's the bad cop?
Right.
And it's like, neither of us are the good cop, neither of us are the bad. Like, we're both good and we're both bad at different points. And even when you're trying to be good, like especially in regards to policing or whatever, you have to use your empathy, but also that empathy can get you into trouble so that your empathy becomes bad. And, so things like that, like what is good and what's bad.
Because everyone can say, oh, Luke, my ex-boyfriend or whatever. You never had anyone else besides Cara. But you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
My ex-boyfriend was and then somebody else will go, oh, he's amazing. So everyone, it's about perception.
Well, also, like, let's just say I was a dick to my ex-girlfriend. She might well think that. I mean, that's years ago. But she probably goes, but thank God he was a dick to me because then I got over him and went and did this with my life. So you look at the bad with the good. It's like that drove me to. I just saw this guy named Arthur Brooks. He's amazing. He's like a Harvard professor, and he talks about whenever something bad happens to you, write down, and then underneath what happened, leave 2 lines free. And then whenever that is resolved, write down the good thing that came out of it.
Are you listening? This is the biggest life tip.
I reckon it's a great idea. I mean, when I think about all the bad things that have happened to me that are bad at the moment, but you would call up your friend and go, terrible thing happened today.
And I often say back, well, if it's going to be funny later, then it's funny now. Also, so just give it time.
Yeah, time, and see what comes of it. And I guess that's kind of like a little bit like, well, what are you going to get out of the bad thing? But sometimes it's just wisdom, or it's just like, oh, now I think about things differently, which is good. A foresight.
I'm curious to know what the other 3 questions were that everybody asked you yesterday.
Oh, who's the good cop? Who's the bad cop? What's it like working with Clancy Brown? And like, have you got any siblings, and do they get on your nerves, or stuff like that. Like, it was just like I'd never done one of those days before.
Yeah,
but they just give you the questions. They give you the questions, and they're like, these are the questions you can ask them. Don't go off book.
And clearly I ignored the questions that PressPassLA gave me, and nobody has stalked me.
Appreciate it.
Stalked you as harder as what I like to.
You've been years in the making.
I've been a fan for a long time.
Yeah.
It's great to see you succeed so much, but honestly, it really is because Luke Cook is probably one of the most talented comedic character actors I've honestly ever seen. I'm not just being biased. I've seen a lot, and I'm just so happy for you.
Andy, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
I just got butterflies. So I encourage everyone to get hooked on this TV series, Good Cop, Bad Cop. And any last words for your fans?
It's on the CW, 9/8 Central, every Wednesday. You could stream it. And if you're in Australia, on Stan. And then ITV in the UK. And thanks, Andy, for having me.
Thank you, Luke Cook. And it's PressPassLA.
Press pass. She's good.